So you find me on my back porch again. I still don't have an office, so we just kind of are going to have to make do with what we have. Sorry for the extra noise. My air conditioning unit is running because it's the middle of summer in Tennessee, and it's a mild 80 degrees today, so I thought that I would try to record this video while it's still somewhat nice outside. Okay, so in the last video, I had mentioned that I was going to show you a book from kind of a one-week project that I did in Iceland. One big important thing for me is to create things that are affordable for people and accessible. I love, of course, owning and buying nice photo books, and I love making nice photo books, but the reality is not everyone can drop $50, $60, $70, $80, $100 on a book. For a lot of working class folks, which I am a working class person, like that's just not an option very often. So whenever I buy a book, I kind of have to wait and really deliberate before spending $50, $60, $70, $80. So a lot of my friends that are in book publishing and that publish books, you know, they say there's no money in photo books. There's no money publishing photo books. And part of it is that we've kind of created a very small market, a very kind of niche market with high dollar books. And so I think there's an appropriate place for really, really nice books. And I think there's also an appropriate place for very affordable books. And so this is my next experiment to see how it goes. I'm not the first person to do this, but I have pre-purchased books in the past and then sold them after I purchased, you know, a lot of books. So for this one, I'm going to attempt to do a print-on-demand service. I printed several books with this particular service, and overall, I'm fairly happy with the quality, especially for something that's just a soft cover kind of like magazine or zine type of thing. So for this book in particular, I think that it was just a one-month project. It's just kind of meant to be kind of like a short story or like a kind of collection of visual poems. It's not meant to be this big, huge project. It's just kind of a little personal thing for me. And so I used a service called MagCloud, and I, you know, of course, like laid out the book and did everything on my own, and then I'm going to use MagCloud as kind of a distribution method. And that way I'm not spending any money. I'm just going to sell the book for what it costs to print it. So I'm not going to make any money either, which is fine. That's kind of the goal, is that someone is getting the work, not so much making money, because you're never really going to make money doing this. So let's just give it a try. I'll have a link down below where you can order this from MagCloud, and then you can let me know what you think of the book. So let's just flip through it really quick. One thing I don't like is they do come with these like peel away sticker things on the back, and sometimes it does leave some residue. But here's the book. It's a project called Whiskey Neat, and that title is based on a poem I wrote whenever I was in Iceland. And, you know, this book, though it was photographed in Iceland, it is not any sort of a commentary on Iceland or a exploration or documentation of Iceland. It's more a meditation on my own desires to explore and how that's become very contrived. And, you know, we pretend like we're explorers, but we go to a place that's long been explored and, you know, colonized and all these things. So it's more of like that fantasy of exploration that isn't real. So anyway, here's the book. It's just a soft cover, 8.5 by 11. Here's the poem at the beginning of the book. Just really simple. I'm trying to like limit the page count so that it can be affordable for everyone. I don't know that there's a whole lot to say about these pictures. I did do a video not that long ago just about my trip to Iceland and just kind of the revelations that I had about, you know, the fantasy of exploration, and that when you go and photograph a place that is not your home country especially, more or less, you're just making a record of what you experience more than anything else. So a lot of this work is just landscape. Whenever I was there, I saw very few people, and the people that I did see were just tourists like me. And so I really just focused on photographing the landscape in front of me. And, you know, the remnants of the human impact on parts of the landscape. Because it is a very stark, at least the peninsula that I was on was a very kind of stark, almost ominous place with just these little records of humanity. But people feel, at least when I was there, I felt so small, because the island is just, it just feels very powerful there, I guess, with just like the rock structures, volcanoes, and like the impact of, you know, thousands of years of volcanic eruption and what that does to the landscape and how it changes what the landscape looks like. Now, of course, I would love to go back and make more pictures, and maybe I will someday, but that's not a priority to me right now. And I could sit on some of these photos and just kind of squirrel them away to make a big book. But I thought, why don't I just release a magazine, just something really affordable, small, you know, something that if you like the work, then you can have, you know, a record of the photographs. If you don't like the photographs, then that's perfectly okay. The more I make pictures, the more I want there to be a home for them. And I think making a little magazine is a really easy place to make a home for your photos. And hopefully people will want it, and they'll want, you know, to see the work and live with the work a little bit. That's always the goal. But if not, you know, I haven't spent $20,000 producing a book. I've really just spent my time, which, you know, as an artist tends not to have a lot of value these days. Now, of course, I went through many iterations of the sequence like I would anything else. But this is all me. This is all my thoughts and ideas and, you know, sequence of images. And hopefully, you know, you respond to some of the work. If you want to get a copy again, you can just like click on the link. It's just a MagCloud thing. They will print it. It usually takes a couple of weeks. They'll print it and ship it right to you in kind of one of these little, you know, cardboard folder deals. But for the cost, as of recording this, I believe like a copy of this you can get below $20 in the United States. And I think this also opens up international options too, because I believe you can buy MagCloud magazines all over the world, or most of the world, which is cool because shipping to another country from my home, like if I was shipping this myself, it's just too expensive. And so having some options for access to the international audience or people that are outside the United States is also a benefit in doing something like this. So this is an option for you if you want to publish your own books, something really simple that is super easy to do. Like you just upload a PDF. It's not hard. And then you can get your work out there more. And for me, that's the goal. Like I want people to live with my work. So hopefully this is another way for people to live with my work. Okay. If you have any questions or thoughts, I'll be happy to answer them or respond to them. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. I hope this is helpful in some way, and hope, you know, you can just put it out there, make a book, make a zine, put it out into the world, let people see what you're working on. So, all right. Thanks for watching.